All right. Hey, everybody, we're live with my good friend and Zenny62 Media Advisory Board member, Marc Canter, who created the first social media platform, the People Aggregator, and a long list of accomplishments, which in a number of ways have changed our lives in many different ways. He has a new company and product he's working on for the last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, called Instigate.
4.5.
4.5 years, I stand corrected, called Instigate AI. Marc, tell us about it. Sounds exciting.
Well, thank you, Zenny, for having me here today. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Yes, loud and clear.
Am I going off camera? Oops.
Only if you.
I'll come back.
Like
you probably think I did that on purpose.
Oh boy, hey, considering how crazy things are this week, it's actually welcome.
Okay, so we're here to talk about a new product, and usually I do these things on Zoom. Let's see. Yeah, we'll be able to kind of see it a little bit. Oh, it's pretty. Yeah, there we go. That's the best angle for it. But sometimes when I do these demos, I just run Zoom on my phone, and then Zoom could be another Zoom client, But that's fine. We can adapt. So check this out. So, all right. So it's got a kind of a timeline of a bunch of different beings. And so if you will indulge me, I will play you one of these beings. Okay.
Yes.
And the being is going to tell a story. And so this is a conversational storytelling tool. Okay. So I'm going to hit play. And I'm going to put my microphone up.
Hey, let me tell you a story about telling stories.
So this is a mobile app. It plays a little segment of video, and then it stops. And it's got a little field down at the bottom where I could type in a question if I wanted to and ask a question of the story. Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
Huh. Yeah.
The next segment.
Let's start off with me telling you this crazy idea I had about telling a story about making a burrito with an Instigate being.
Can you hear that?
Loud and clear. Yes.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
So that's me talking about making a story about a burrito.
So I go to the local.
Whoops. There you go. So it. Sorry. I'm trying to reach around the corner and hit play while holding it up to the mic.
It's a great example.
Oops, sorry, that's the wrong one. So I've got a bunch of these stories, right? So I'm going to go step through. And what I can do actually is step through to the third one.
So I go to the local Chipotle and try to videotape them making burritos. Well, needless to say, they didn't let me make a video recording burritos. Oh well.
And that's with Jimi Hendrix playing in the background, in case you didn't notice. And then we go. All right, so there's the Chipotle. Right? So it presents it like in a messaging format, right?
Okay, here's another one for you. Have you ever thought about the fact that software is the new rock and roll? That we take our heroes, we put them up on pedestals, we pray to the altar of fame, and it's all about making money.
It's all about making money, Zenny.
Did Jimmy worry about making money? Software is the new art form.
Jimmy didn't worry about making money.
No.
Okay. Now I'm going to go step on to the next one. Here we go. Now, what's going on here? Oh, yeah. Okay. This is Bob.
Hey.
Muhammad.
It's like Muhammad Ali. Yeah. It's supposed to be Muhammad Ali Day.
Listen to this. Here we go.
Feuded it, while Muhammad Ali took fame and turned it into his spear, his machine gun.
So we're talking about fame.
And create great change.
This is a good one.
Huh. You may think you're cool, but never be as cool as Bruce Lee and Jim Morrison chilling while Jimi Hendrix snaps a selfie in 1969. Cool. That is cool. That's the epitome of cool. That is the epitome. 1969 cool. That is cool. That's the epitome of cool.
Okay, now how about this one?
Can you just imagine what Freddie is saying to Michael?
You know who those two guys are?
Yes, Michael Jackson and
Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury.
Yes.
From Queen. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, next. Here we go. You know who these two people are? Oops. See, I keep reaching around and anyway, this is really uncomfortable.
I understand.
that it's a tool. Okay, so here's the thing. So at any time I can go into this thing and I double click on it. Okay, hold on. I double click and now it shows me the script.
Look at the script editor.
This is the script that I used to create that.
Whoa.
So just like Director had a script.
Right. You have a script there. Whoa. I want one.
It's a full script editor for conversations.
Huh.
And so what you're going to do is, so what we did see is if I were to type something, I have a list of words that the system will understand. So I could type in Jimmy or Bob Dylan or something, and I could then decide how to respond back. Now that's called an NLP, a natural language processing. Siri, Alexa, etc. Okay. So what we're doing is we're giving people the power to create their own interactive stories. We're hoping that they'll get really good at it so they can make money. And we're going to teach you about AI and all the concepts you need, and it's gamified. So what we're going to release by the end of the summer is just level 1. Okay. And that's like a prototype. And then you'll work your way up as you get more and more points, just like you work your way up through a game. And you learn more and more concepts and get access to more and more features.
It's a gamified content creation.
Learning process. It's a learning thing. You learn by doing. You learn about AI by building these conversations.
Wow.
So it's a threefer.
How did you come to this? And by the way, I happen to find your website, which is this.
Yeah. So that's the process, right? So I call that our own social model. Okay. So stop right there. Okay. So in the beginning, you, the creator, create this thing called a being, and you add something and you try it out, and then you add something more and you try it out. You go back and forth until you're ready to share this being. Okay. You then share it privately. So this is how it's different than Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or any of those. The closest thing to it was a product 10 years ago called Path.
I remember that. I remember Path.
Share is a private share. Okay. So each individual share I can do, and I can share them with, let's say, 10 friends. And each friend will interact with it and ask questions and go through the story on their own. Okay. Now, we'll be running machine learning and we'll be studying and watching how people interact with the being. And then what happens is sometimes you might have this kind of aspirational ambition and you might want to push it timeline. And that timeline is what I was showing you before. It's this list of beings, right? And what's on that timeline is not just your being, but celebs and brands and other people's stuff. And so that's why you want to be on that timeline, because you'll be right next to Beyonce or the Oakland Raiders as they migrate into the Vegas Raiders. Okay, so that's the social model. Okay, there's lots of other ways that we design the software to help developers make money. There's like a white label version, and how it gets distributed. So the celebs and brands are our customers, and we give them the ability to do what we call a white label, so they can control it and have it fire up inside of Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. So the celebs and brands can control their mail list, can control the data, can control everything, rather than being at the mercy of Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whoever. They're going to control their own thing, because we create that little UI that you saw, that could be a mobile web thing, and it can appear anywhere. We come up on Android and iOS, but it could be web, it could be in a kiosk, in a car. We'll have a voice-activated version. So there you go.
This is trick. Hey, scrolling down on the website, it reads as remix culture, new opening.
Those are a lot of different. So let me just let you know. So this is a teaser website, because we're not live yet. And I've been running this teaser website for 3.5 years. Okay, so you'll see back on all these kind of crazy ideas. And the key thing is that we're being transparent, and that as the product has evolved, this is the 3rd prototype we've produced. Okay, so we'll put this out there and we'll solicit feedback from people, and that will then lead us to an MVP version of the product, right? So everything at Instigate.ai is still kind of teaser phase, and You want
to play the video?
No, I don't want to play any of those videos. I want to play you some more of Another Being.
Cool, you got it. I will.
Okay?
I will.
And let's get all political and shit. Okay, here we go. Okay, now it's hard to see if you can.
In 1936, Charlie Chaplin warned us of the dehumanization that technology could put onto society. The movie was called Modern Times.
So again, at any time you could type, ask a question, interact, or it just kind of goes on its own.
We've known for years that automation was taking our jobs away from us, but now we see bots as the entities that are evil.
Whoa.
For now, okay. I think it's safe to say that robots aren't going to take all our jobs away from us, and that we're safe.
Ah, yes, we're safe. And so we can sit there with our family, our nuclear family, and stay safe. Okay. So these are all just different creative expression. My storytelling that I'm doing, and we're just getting to the point of putting this into the hands of other people. So we're doing really alpha testing, and each person I expect to do something completely different. Let me point out a couple other cool things about the product. So I can open up Beyonce or Tesla, but I can open up anybody's being, and as long as it's not locked down, I can go in and copy any individual element in the script. I can copy it and paste it into my being. So I could go to Beyonce and get a soundtrack, go to Tesla and get a car driving, go to Dancing Cereal Box, found footage, copy and paste and create. And that's what I mean by remix culture. Any of those elements can all be brought into my being, and that's how I create.
It sounds like you've taken, remember, I think it was David, I forgot David, he had a Storyfy in a sense. It was for the blog, but it looks like you've really, not that you got the idea from him, but.
Well, dude, storytelling is as long as sex and food and the wheel, right? I mean, okay. All right. So it's old. Okay. And everyone wants to take storytelling and make it their own. Okay. So in fact, the term story nowadays is the thing that goes up on an Instagram or Facebook, right? There are 2 billion of those stories posted every day. Okay. So our idea is that different people are going to have a different viewpoint, photo, video, interactivity. It's in a messaging format. And for 100 different people, there'll be 100 different ways that they interpret it. Okay. This turns out to be what happened with Director. My first company was called Macromind, that became Macromedia, and we had a tool called Director, and a lot of different people used it in a lot of different ways. Okay, and so that's the idea. We're a tool company We're enabling new kinds of creativity, and we're hoping to people get good at the tool so they can make money building beings for celebs and brands and themselves.
How did you come to this revolutionary product?
So the key thing is that there's lots of hype, hundreds of billions of dollars, if not $1 trillion, wound up in AI right now. And to be able to get involved with AI, to create AI, you have to be a mathematician or a data scientist or a heavy hitter programmer. Okay. So the ultimate goal that we started with 4.5 years ago is that we want to make AI accessible to anybody. So I started studying these NLPs, and it started off as like a chat bot. Okay.
What's
It was
an
inside of
NLP? My
it's
viewers.
inside of Facebook, right? About 4 years ago.
Okay.
So we're inside of Facebook, and you type something, and the being responds. In those days, we called it a bot. But since then, the term bot has become evil. Okay. But what we did was in the first prototype, we discovered this awesome feature. And this is the key thing. You want to test and try things out on users. So imagine I'm doing this demo to show somebody a chat bot, and then right there I recorded a video. And the video would say like, "Hi, I'm here in LA and I'm eating noodles and listening to David Bowie." And so then I would go back to my demo, and a few minutes later, the video would come up and it would start playing. And as soon as the video ended, the being would come up and say, "Udon or ramen?" Right? Like,
Yeah.
so how did it know that I was talking about noodles? Right?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, 50% of the time someone laughed or chuckled. Okay. So that feature is built into the product. So when you're crafting a conversation, what you're doing is you're anticipating what is your friend going to say? How are they going to respond? So that then I can have a comeback, right? Because the conversation's like, boom, 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 boom. Like you lay out this whole crafted conversation. That's a new art form. I don't know anybody doing that. And so as you learn and you work your way up, that's all possible with level 1. Then at level 2, we give you the ability to import from Instagram. Because you've already got your photos and videos, but they're over in Instagram, right? And we give you more and more features as you work your way up to the system. Now, let me tell you who inspired this product. This is for the next generation, right? This is FOMO. This is the next big thing. This is what comes after TikTok, right? And so when I listen to my daughter talking, she's talking about the drama teacher who's got a scandal, or that movie they saw last weekend, or this new guy in school who's got a cute butt, or like, what kind of reefer they prefer to smoke, or, I like this kind of hard seltzer, and they're talking about Cardi B and they're quoting lyrics and they got nicknames and slogans and they have their own vernacular, their own ubonics, right? And that's what the user, the creator, that's what they teach their being to say. So if you want to contrast us to a chatbots, which are good for like tech support, selling something, health advice, those kind of things. What we're about is that everything the being says is defined by the creator. That unique language that my daughter talks, that's what she wants her being to say. So she controls, and that to me is a very political thing. We don't want the companies deciding our future. That's what leads us to Skynet and like a horrible future of AI. We want to make it so the humans control the AI. And so that's the essence behind this product, is to give a tool to normal everyday people so they can control AI. In this context, storytelling. So all the data in our world is all what we call UGC data. You'd like to tell everybody what UGC stands for, Zenny?
UGC.
User-generated content. It started back with this thing called blogging. and then it went to this thing called YouTube.
Right.
And then, right? Okay. So that's been evolving. So we're the next generation after that.
Unfortunately, in the world of my head, it's sometimes Universal Grants Commission. But anyway.
Dude, I just want to know what comes after the Oakland Raiders, right? If it's not the Oakland Raiders, who is it? The Oakland Jack, what is it called? Jack Londons? They're the
Invaders, the Oakland Invaders.
Invaders? Okay, all right. Well, I'm sure Libby Schaff will be very happy.
I hope so.
Can they just create a new team? I mean, don't they have to worry about the numbers and getting,
Well, I mean, in a nutshell, it requires NFL owners that and are going to stand behind you because you have to have their vote ultimately. And it requires that you are able to raise about $1.4 billion. Actually, you need about.
But they can't have an odd number team, so they have to at least get 2.
There's been talk of doing an odd number.
Okay.
But
look, I still don't care. I just want Colin to get a job. Oh, did you hear that Lamar Jackson says he's not going to play if Colin doesn't have a job?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
What?
And I think Patrick Mahomes needs to step up too. I mean, they create a united front. All of a sudden, Colin's got a job.
Yeah, I definitely want Colin to be hired. I just want Colin to bring people together because he has a tendency to get to this platform and he says something that's really stupid. And look, I've been a fan of Colin since before all this started. All right.
Me too.
All the way back.
When I first saw him play, I was in love with him.
The way back to the Senior Bowl when he was the best quarterback, and I said that he was better than Blaine Gabbert, but people like Mike Mayock and others who had a racist issue were trying to downplay Cam Newton so that he wouldn't get drafted number 1.
When Colin started running around, and they like, woo, took off, Well,
here's the thing.
I was in love with him.
Here's the thing. I blogged about how Cam Newton was being treated in a way that was institutionally racist before he was drafted. Jim Gabbert, who was with the USA Today, wrote a piece that basically took Newton and compared him to every black quarterback, but didn't mention they were black, and then pointed out his shortcomings and theirs. So I wrote a counter piece directed at him with his name on it. And when I saw him at the NFL red carpet, I said, "Hey, Jim, you remember that guy that wrote that piece that was a hit piece on your piece?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "That was me." Yeah.
Oh, dude, look,
that is why there is a Zenny 62 Media. That's one reason.
Okay.
Not the whole reason, but just saying.
Okay, so so the information is Instigate.ai. It'll be Android and iOS. It'll be free, and we'll be basically soliciting feedback. And anybody can submit their being. So anything they create, they can submit it to us. And if we like it, we'll push it up onto that homepage. That's what we'll be working this summer. Okay. Then we take all that feedback and information, and we, the main reason we're releasing the product is to get it out there. So there's a there, so people can see what the hell it is I've been figuring out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we collect feedback. And then hopefully that'll lead to some investment.
This is exciting. I first of all, talk about your team details because there's you here, right?
Yeah.
And looks like some people that you're quite familiar with, other than of course yourself. Tell us about them.
Okay, so my partner is a guy named Steve DePaula. Okay, and that's Steve both in a normal photo and in his style of deep art that he does using TensorFlow and other machine learning algorithms. Okay, so he's a professor up at Simon Fraser University in Vancouver. Okay, and he's got a chat engine, one of these NLPs that we're planning on spinning out and being the foundation of our platform once we get funding. Okay, you want to scroll down some more?
Yep.
So there's Nazem. Okay. So Nazem used to work for me 15 years ago. And so he came to me about a year and a half ago and said, "Hey, Marc, I want to build your next product." So Nazim is based in Bangalore, where just this week the power got turned off twice.
Oh no!
So sometimes the Prime Minister of India, Modi, sometimes he goes in and shuts off the internet. Right? Other times the power goes down. So we've been working as hard as we can to build this product. Okay, that third person is Jamie Fenton. She was an original founder of Macromind. Then she was a founder of Cola, the last company I did, and she's based in Chicago right now. Okay, and then there's Jory Hayner, and Jory is a longtime Burning Man ranger.
Whoa, good for her.
So for the past 19 years,
19?
Jory goes and helps run Burning Man. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Now I have got a bunch of other people that haven't made it to the website yet, and they're all graduates of Oberlin, which is where I went to school. And so I've got a bunch of OBs working because we're getting ready. Now, these are just friends and other people who have helped over the time. So we believe in being very transparent and giving people credit. So let's see. There's Ariel McNichol. She has a company called Moti Spark. Okay. There's Megan McGee, who's down in Long Beach. There's Marv Scaff, who's in Tampa. There's Dean Landsman in New York City. There is Justin Hall. He's in Louisville, Kentucky. There's Richard Tong, Sam Klima. All these people are people that have contributed and helped towards the product.
Yeah, I'd love to help.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the idea, that we're transparent, and we're going to talk about what our product roadmap is. We're going to talk about our stats. We're going to publicly display how many people have downloaded, how many people are using it, how many beings we have, because you know what? 3 is better than none. 140 is better than 3. I put up a post 2 days ago. Within 36 hours, I had almost 300 comments on it.
Wow.
So our go-to-market strategy is that there's about 100,000 people who all got their start in this industry by buying my product, or our product. It was called Director. Okay, so these are old timers. These are people 50 years or older. This is how many people got started, because back in those days, it was impossible to control multimedia or do anything unless you were a programmer. So our product, Director, was the first product that allowed normal people to create multimedia. So those people that was 30 years ago. And those people have now been in the business for 30 years. And they're now all vice presidents and run companies. And so I'm going to go to those folks. I'm going to say, look, as Director was to multimedia, so will Instigate be to AI. And, maybe if you don't want to use it, this is not a simplistic, place an icon on a screen. This is like you actually have to learn the product. There's a learning curve. And so why don't you show it to your friends? Even better, why don't you show it to your kids? Mm-hmm. Because what are your kids doing? It's like, leave me alone, Dad. I'm busy, And so it's true for all our kids. And
if I had kids,
but wouldn't that be a great intergenerational kind of connection between parent and kid by having a product that they introduce them to? So that's kind of my dream scenario.
How did all this start? How did you come to work on this? What was the
the origin story is that I had this other company. They kicked me out of the company. I had to sue them. I got my stock back, settled the lawsuit. I come on and say, okay, what am I going to do next? And I look around and I'm seeing this hype engine called AI. And there's nothing worse I hate than some buzzword du jour mentality where everyone's throwing around a term and I'm a consultant to come to my conference.
Like podcasting?
Yeah. Okay. So what I do is I lock myself in a clean room with no other influences, nobody else but me. And I designed a product for synthetic personality, which would have, think of it as a black box with sliders on it. And one was like emotion, and the other one was intelligence, and the other one was, and so if you can imagine that being an API, and you'd sell that to companies, and they would attach to your box.
Yeah. Oh, for those of you who know, application program interface, just letting you all know. So yeah.
Okay, so I'm on Facebook, and I see this.
Welcome everybody. This is Marc Canter. He's on to the next product that's going to change your life. So yeah.
So I go on Facebook, and there's a book. It's like Cognitive Architecture for Virtual Characters in Video Games. Pretty interesting. I pay $180 for the book. So I get the book, I open it up, and there in chapter 7 is the exact design for a synthetic personality engine that I had designed on my own. Okay. I went, whoa, this is not a coincidence. So I called up the editor of the book, and I said, dude, you have to introduce me to the authors of chapter 7, right? He goes, dude, don't you remember me? We used to party on Potrero Hill together. I'm Steve, So we have these parallel lives. We've known each other a long time. So Steve assembled some of his PhDs.
Isn't that the beauty of the Bay Area, though?
No, dude. Steve's in Vancouver. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he used to live in San Francisco. Yeah. So everyone used to live here, and then they go up to Atlanta or whatever. Okay,
well, I'm still paying rent in Oakland, by the way. So just let you know.
Okay, so Steve assembles a team, and we, for 4 months, study what it would take to build this synthetic personality engine I've designed. Okay, we got an answer: 10 million conversations and 3 to 5 years of work. I think about $50 million. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well, now how do we get to $50 million? So that's when we designed the first version of Instigate. Okay, so Steve's up in Vancouver. He runs the AR, VR lab there. He does AI research. He's got lots of irons in the fire. We're like one of 10 projects he's involved with, right? So I've been trying to do bootstrapping. I go hire people, I recruit people, I come back, start over, throw it out, start again. Nazem comes in my life, Megan was helping me. Different people help me at different phases. And, that's the thing about being an experienced executive. I've been doing this almost 40 years. And so it's called hustle here, hustle there, do whatever you got to do. Focus on the users, that users experience, and see things through their eyes. And what they want to do is they want to be able to make money. They want to be able to develop a tool so they can get good at the tool. Then people come along and hire them.
So this is interesting. So basically what you're saying is you're used to people going in and out of your, quote, staff, unquote, right? In other words, you have a fixed set of needs.
But as long as you do, that's because
someone may be there for this time.
You don't have any money to hire them, right? So you're asking people to work sweat equity.
That's
why, right? The moment we have money, what I'll assemble is a virtual crew from around the world. Like I'll stay in San Francisco. Like Nazem wants to move from Bangalore to Vancouver. We'll probably open up a Vancouver office simply because there's so many Canadian tax benefits. Do you know that I can get up to 53% refund on the salaries I pay to creative workers? So this is programmers, writers, designers, not office people, not marketing people, not salespeople, but creative people. And this is a Canadian law.
Yeah, that's why.
So, let's go hire some creative Canadians, That's
why Supergirl's made up there. A number of shows on the WB are up there now.
Exactly. So Sony moved in the entire Sony ImageWorks. They shut down in LA and they moved everybody up to Vancouver. All the major game companies, Blizzard, Activision, all these people, EA, they all have offices in Vancouver. So anyway, we plan to develop this virtual company, and we'll have people around the world. And because we think the software is an international product, I mean, it's something for everybody.
So next steps. Oh, by the way, before I say ask next steps, it seems like something that in one case I might be able to embed into my WordPress blog platform. Is that something?
Yeah. So I haven't the traditional embed could work. Okay, I don't see that as that effective, but I think for somebody like you, it would be a floating window. Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
so there's a link there, and it says, "Hey, I've been trying out this new stuff," and you tap on it. This is in your WordPress blog, and you have a link, and you tap on it, and up comes this floating window, and it's shaped like a conversation, right? Like a messaging window. Okay, and so that ability, that's what we're going to give to the celebs and brands, so they can run an ad in Facebook, tap, up comes the conversation. They can run something in Twitter. Yeah, tap. All of the above, dudes. Okay, now that's our business model. I want
my blog to be a test bed. I want my blog.
And that's our business model. That's who we charge money for, right? Okay. Everyone else gets it for free. Okay. Now, a developer, a user who gets good at it is a developer. A developer who gets really good at it, he can give us a little bit of money, and he can create his own spawned off. So that's what you would be. You would be this pro developer, and oh, by the way, here's my pricing model.
Can I give you stock?
Hold on. Here's my pricing model. You only pay when the product is successful for you.
Oh, interesting.
So you tell us that, well, of course, in the early days, they'll be manually done, and eventually we'll figure out a pattern. But if someone, let's say, has a marketing campaign, and they've got budget for customer acquisition, right? And so they say, well, this is what we want to achieve. We want to have these people to download it and click through and do the banner thing, and and this is all their justification in their head why they pay for marketing tech and these campaigns and email and all this stuff. This is where all the money is. Okay,
right.
Let's see. Okay, so the point is that we establish ahead of time. What are your metrics? What is it you're hoping to achieve with this distribution, this creation of the being, and you distribute it? Okay, and so then you pay us based upon results, right? Only results.
What fee? How much?
0.001, times this, multiplied by that. So there's a check for $20. So then you write me a check for $20, whatever. I mean, like some small little micro payment thing.
Here's why I asked, because your device or your software in Oakland News Now, for example, allow a greater rate of time to be spent on my site.
Yeah. So that might be your metric. Your metric is anybody comes in, you start a little timer. And by the way, we're going to use something called Dashbot. Okay. So Dashbot is the statistics package for chatbots. Okay. So by us including the SDK, there's like 100 things we can track. Okay. All right. Now, so there's two things I want to point out.
I just want to finish my thought too. It wouldn't be replacing, let's say if I write a blog post on the Super Bowl, right?
Or the Oakland Raiders.
Or
even the Vegas Raiders.
Or let's whoop into what I'm doing right now. Let's say I make a vlog, all right? And I'm in out of Mongolia for an event. And so I make a 1 minute and 43-second vlog. It's posted, and then it goes out automatically to become a blog post on Oakland News Now from YouTube. And on its way to Google News, it stops at Oakland News Now, but others see it, and they have access to Instigate below it, so they can see that and they can recommunicate it out in a new type of way.
No. So, okay, so I'm going to try to say this politely as possible.
Oh, I'll be mean.
There are algorithms.
I'm learning.
Hold on. There are algorithms that attempt to tell stories. How did that work out?
Not good.
Not good. Okay.
No.
So you don't want the story.
People.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah, sure.
You don't want the story to be automatically generated. Yeah. You got that original 1 minute and 45-second clip. Okay. Maybe it's footage that you shot out there. As the Mongolian horseback riders are riding, and then they grab the sheep, and it's like.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And let's put it this way: you got 3 videos. You got when they started the race, when the guy's hanging over his horse and he picked up the lamb, and then when he cut it up and threw it through the winner's circle and won the race. Okay, so you got 3 videos. Now you bring those home. This could be your hotel room. Maybe even eventually, you get good at it. It's fucking, sitting in the stands or in the green room editing. Okay, because these things are pretty powerful editors. Okay. The point is that you got 3 clips. Now, you're probably going to go turn the camera to your face and say, "Hi, here I'm Zenny reporting to you from Mongolia about this incredible race." Okay. And then you're going to want to record narration. Look at him bending over. Is a fantastic rider. And then there's Mustafa Hussein. And so you have music, you have narration, you have text, you have photos, you have videos, all these things that come together. I mean, what's an Instagram story, dude? It's anything.
Right, it's anything. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The difference is that when you assemble this story, you can then build up a whitelist of keywords: Mustafa, lamb, horseback, Mongolia, whatever the information is, so the thing is interactive.
Yeah.
Now you assemble that and using that scripting thing I showed you, and then you have a being. That's not done by an algorithm. That's done by you, the creator.
What I'm suggesting
is, all right, now you've got this interactive thing, and that goes onto your page.
Right. Just to make sure I got it. But what I'm saying is that the video comes to you on the blog post, but Instigate is below it, right? And so you're writing your own Instigate in part based on what you're writing, and you're embellishing. You're sending that out, and so it becomes this viral iterative process.
Sure, it's going to be basically the same content that you do for the blog post. It's repurposing the videos.
Yeah.
And the tool itself allows you to just sit there and record other videos. Think of it as annotation, narration, accompanying text, captions, like all that information to make it rich.
Yeah.
Right? And then that's available there, and tap on it. And by the way, Facebook feed, Twitter plugin, Instagram, like all those platforms, LinkedIn, all those platforms, you'll be able to trigger this being from. It doesn't just have to be your WordPress blog.
Yeah, because this fits in with an idea that I'm developing, that the blog page should in and of itself be entertainment. A community.
Yeah. So just, one of the other ways we compare ourselves to chatbots is the chatbots are about the price of shoes. How much does it cost to order from a Chinese menu? Wellness advice. Those are facts. We are in the realm of fiction. We make entertainment. There's no right or wrong. It's, did you get off on it or not? Did you laugh? Did it make you ponder something? Was it informative? Was it interesting? That's the realm we're in. This is like next generation blogging. Right? This is creative expression, right? Now I want to say a couple of things more that's not implied and obvious, okay? The reason why the celebs and brands will love this is because when they make a being, they know that anybody can come along, open up. Well, Zenny, let me ask you this. How did you first learn HTML?
Back in 1997 through Microsoft, not PageMaker. What was it called?
Okay. But dude, there's a thing called a browser.
Yeah.
And you go up on the browser and there's a button, a menu item, and it says View Source.
Yes.
And you open it up, and then you see how the page is built.
Yep.
The same thing happens with an Instigate being. You see this fancy thing, and then you go, okay, edit. And then you see how it's built. Now, when the celebs and brands know that people are going to go into the being and copy any element, the theme song, the bass line, the little hook, the picture of Beyonce and her baby, the Tesla car coming around the corner, screeching, drifting, like beautiful drone shots or cool soundtracks. All those are the message that the celeb or brand want to get across. Dancing cornflakes boxes, like whatever it is, the celebs or brands want to get out there. It's a natural way. Any Instigate creator just goes and copies and pastes. And so that's the other thing we'll be tracking. Like, how many of my elements spread to all these other beings and got incorporated in their beings, right? So
it sounds like the next
cool.
Canva, I believe it is.
Canva, absolutely. It's in that sense that it's using a multi-user environment, and then people will friend each other and follow them, and dude, it's gonna be awesome.
Hey, get me involved, man. Get me involved.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good, and we'll be totally transparent. And like I said, I've never seen a product that publicly displays their stats.
No.
How many users? How many downloads? How many people are using right now? I mean, who cares if it's 17 or 422? It's the right 422 people. And then eventually I want to have a little map. And there's little dots all over the world of people using the product at any one time.
And you got a lot of stuff here. Look at this, folks. You have to see this before we close out, folks. Humans creating AI experiences.
Yeah, so
this is cool. Look at this.
I've been working on this a while, and I've been pitching it. And so what I've discovered was that you can try to describe something that's completely new, but that's not the same as actually having it working. Okay. So these are just all these videos I've been kind of teasing and showing people what's coming. We've been trying lots. Oh yeah, it's lots of different kinds of beings. I've been pushing the envelope. They're all examples. So all these examples come with the product, right? And so you go onto the timeline and you see all these different examples, and you open it up and you learn from it, and you can copy or paste and reuse any of the elements.
Hey, so what's the response been?
We're just starting, dude. We're just getting to the point where the product's finished. We're still finishing it, right? And so it's a little hard when Modi shuts off the internet or the power goes down. So it's been a journey.
Just send Trump over to kidnap the prime minister. Maybe he'll do you some good.
He'll solve all the problems. All right, Marc, well, it's been almost an hour now. So
yes, it has, and this is fantastic. But I want to have you back to come back, and don't go anywhere. Stay in the back room for a second. Everybody.
Okay. Yeah, and so totally when we ship, well, I'll come back at any time.
By the Instigate.ai, folks, please check it out. That's on the web. And then also you can go and get it through the iOS or
Play Store, the Google Play Store. Yeah.
Google Play Store. Okay. All right, cool.
When it's ready.
Hey, folks, subscribe to Zini62 and bookmark OaklandNewsNow.com and bookmark OaklandNewsOnline.com, Oakland's only continuously running 24/7 blog aggregator. Stick around, Marc.